your service to God will not be put to shame. The fervency of your ministry, of your efforts will not be put to shame. Your yieldedness to the things of the Spirit. You have served God as an usher. You have served God as a worshiper. You have served God in that financial department. That financial department they've put. You've not robbed money. You have been fervent enough. You've sought after the Lord diligently. For you've not served any idol. They have laughed. She says she's a born again. What is happening? He says he's a believer. Okay, he's a man of God. What's happening to him? We are quick to place judgments. But the Lord is saying, my child, hang in there. You are not going to be put to shame. And I was telling us, there's a woman also called Ruth. Ruth loses the husband. Now she's a widow. This is what the Bible is telling us, that you shall forget that you carried the reproach of being a widow. Now, this one was a widow, Ruth. Didn't know what to do. Didn't know where to go now. Life didn't make sense to her. She didn't have a child. At least that would be consolation of, okay, the man has died, but now at least I have a son. For remembrance, a son to comfort me. She didn't have nothing of those. But the Bible says, when this woman decided to stick to Naomi, who can represent the Spirit of the living God, who can represent God, and said, wherever you go, I will go. I will not change my vow. I don't care who laughs at me, who points, who smacks, who does what. I will not. My faith and my trust shall be in you. The Bible says she makes a vow, and she did not break that vow. She followed Naomi wherever she goes. And child of God, God is telling you, you've made a vow and you followed it. You've not given in to the deceptions of the world. You've not given in to those that laugh. You've not said, let me look for other sources of, how I can come out of this situation. You've been laughed at. You've carried that garment of shame, that reproach, that iniquity. The Lord is saying, a time is come where I'm going to show the world that I was with you and I would never put you to shame. So fast forward, the Bible tells us that Ruth follows Naomi back to her kinsmen, and then the Lord, because of, the diligency, the Lord comes through for who? For Ruth. Finds a rich man. Finds a rich man, Boaz. This other side, where she carried her shame and reproach, she didn't have a child and she lost her husband. So she was barren and she was a widow. Carried both meanwhile. Carried both. You're crying because of a job. You're crying because of a marriage. You're crying because this one lost. This one went into that state of a widow. She didn't carry no child. She was a barren woman. But now, because she waited on God, because she submitted to a woman, she was obedient. She didn't let these things run her head. The Lord repaid her. And that is what the Lord is telling you today, that you will forget.
Download the Salt Media app from the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store.